Back again with another deck profile, and it is, of course, Mitsurugi Orcust, but now for Doom of Dimensions format and post-ban list. I've been meaning to make this profile for a bit, but I've been busy, and then I went undefeated first place at the pre-release, and I was like, all right, I'll make a video. So, got around to it, here we are. And so I changed some things up, obviously, for post-ban list, and I want to just kind of explain my theory about why I did some things. So for the Orcust, we still have Girsu, Harp, all the classics. This is completely unchanged from like all my Orcust lists, basically, because you wouldn't need to play all of them. For the Mitsurugi package, this is where it's going to get a little bit weird. So 3 Habakiri, 1 Murakumo, 1 Saji. Then we have 3 Prayers, 1 Ritual, 3 Pre-Prep, 1 Mirror. So I want to show this a bit later, but basically there's a combo that with just these cards still leaves you with a Habakiri and Murakumo, so you overlay into Zombie Vampire, and you also have Prayers, so you can still get your Murakumo back. And now that there's you don't lose the time, you can Prayers whenever you want, and that's kind of nice. And then hand traps, 3 Ash, 3 Fuelos, or this isn't a hand trap, but non-engine, Droplet, Imperm, Impulse. These cards are just really good, and I don't think I would change any of them. They fit really great into this deck. Extra deck. This is pretty standard. You need to play all these. This for Lunalight. And then you have this. So things that are weird. Obviously, there's no King of the Fair Limps anymore. So I just played a Typhon. I was thinking about playing Code Igniter, but that card pretty much never comes up, and I thought Typhon might come up more, even though I was pretty sure none of them would ever come up. You have to play 2 Galatea I and 2 Dingirsu, 2 Galatea, 2 Dingirsu for just grind game purposes. You have to play along Girsu because certain lines need him, and he's also really good going second because you can shuffle in your guys and send their monsters. IPSP, this is just like a backup or whatever. Barricade for discarding more bricks out of your hand. Like if you open Nightmare, you just make any 2 buys into this discard full combo. Dark for stealing your opponent's link material. Boral Sword for a Lunalight because you can attack over both of them in 1 turn. Photon Lord, because if you start with Mitsurugi and you have Orcust combo already, you can just make this to protect from Nib. Zombie Vampire to bridge, and then I already went over the ding. Card's ridiculous. And Typhon. For side deck, I think I like this better than my previous side deck. So 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 2 Perilia, Call by Talents, 2 Thrust, Dark Ruler, Duster, and Great Purification. So I was playing this and then I swapped off of it, and now I'm back to the Thrust package. You don't need to play Lancea this format anymore because Malice got absolutely murdered. You can just beat it with hand traps now. It's actually like a fair deck. Now the Splash Mage is gone. 3 Droll, this is for like Mitsurugi, any road decks. Nib, I'm still kind of iffy about, but in theory it's good against some decks. Perilia, this card feels kind of trash against a lot of decks that aren't K9 based, but it's against some random decks, it helps as well. Call by Talents, these cards are for going first, and Talents is good for going second too because you can thrust for it. 2 Thrust, and then my Thrust package. So obviously this is for going first just to search, but you can also thrust for it sometimes. And then these are my breakers for thrusting for going second, and you can also thrust for Foolish Burial, Pre-Prep, anything like that. So this, I miss this so much. It felt great today. And I want to show just how the Mitsurugi combo works so people don't get confused, because it is kind of confusing. So we're just going to get all the Mitsurugi cards. So you start with Habakiri, right? So you activate Habakiri, you get your Saji, and then your Saji gets you your Ritual. And then you can play around one Charmy or another. So like if you're under, say, Fuelos, your Ritual summon from hand, by tributing the Murakumo, then Murakumo adds you the Mirror. Then you activate Mirror, tribute, summon this, then Resolution effect, then get the Prayers, and then you just overlay these into Zombie Vampire and you still have Prayers. But if you're under Perulia and you want to avoid summoning from hand, you have this, you search this, then you go summon from deck, tribute, summon this, then resolution effect, get you mirror, mirror, tribute, summon back, resolution effect, search. So you can do it either way to play around one charm or another because you just mirror to swap them out. But what I like about this is because mirror lets you get both rituals still, but then also pre-prep, like you have to play mirror, but then pre-prep is 3 more starters because I went to a case tournament the other day and I bricked game 1 and 2 against Yummy, and that was just really infuriating. I lost in like 10 minutes, and so I was like, all right, I gotta cut more things out of this deck because Kusanagi was glued to my hand, and that was incredibly frustrating. So I cut out Kusanagi and Aramasa. I put in even more starters. I took the nibs out of the main, and we're doing this now to be as consistent as possible. For matchups, it was just 3 rounds because my locals caps it at 3 rounds. So round 1, 2-0 versus Yummy. It was really funny because he sent me first game 2, but he didn't really open that well, so I was still able to just clean it up from there. Breakers are really good against Yummy, so that's really cool because I feel like at the regional I didn't have a lot of side deck cards for Yummy, but that's because I was playing more hand traps, like garbage hand traps, like Ogre and Bell. I'm pretty sure I was playing during that time. So just breakers, especially with no Dice Masher, became a lot better. So you can thrust for breakers, thrust for foolish, thrust for pre-prep. It feels great. It's really nice. I recommend trying out thrust if you haven't this format. Round win 2-0 versus Mitsurugi Yummy. That deck's cool. He drew kind of bad. Game 2, and then game 1 I made my full board going first and he just scooped it up immediately, so you know it happens. And then round 3 win 2-1 versus K9 Orcust. Shout out Matthew because we were theorying with some Orcust things, and then I ended up playing against him in the last round at table 1, so that was really cool. It was a really good back and forth game. I opened double Fuelos, mirror Habakiri, and then like Ash or something. So, and he ashed my Habakiri, or he ashed my, no, he belled my mirror. So I had Habakiri on board. I had 2 Fuelos and an Ash. So I normal summoned the Ash, made SP, passed. Then he normal summoned Girsu, made Galatea I. Then Galatea I effect pitch. I chained SP, banished both. Then I dropped double Fua. But that wasn't enough because he had a whole bunch of K9 things, so we just set up 5 bodies and just attacked. But that was a really cool game. As far as, obviously, I got this mat, which is sick. I traded the promo, which is a garbage card, for the Fleur-de-Lis Thunderbolt, because Regenesis is coming back, baby. We're doing Dogmatica Regenesis, because this thing is 25, and it's turn 0 punishment. I also got the Field Center, which is really cool. And I also picked up some of the Sulfur stuff because I'm thinking about making K9 Sulfur, so expect a deck profile about that at some point. But right now, I am vibing with Mitsurugi Orcust because this deck is still really good post-ban list. King of the Fair Limps, we can talk about why King of the Fair Limps being banned doesn't matter that much. Because you have to play really hard into Nib to get to it, because basically before, to get to King of the Fair Limps, you need 2 level 4s, right? So that's Girsu and Harp most of the time. But what you could technically do is you could go Girsu, send Harp, and then Harp summon another Girsu, and then just overlay those 2. That cuts you off of access from like everything, right? So if you still want access to your Orcust engine while you're doing this, you have to do a whole bunch of things. So you have to keep this Girsu on the field the whole time. You like send this, then you do this, send this, then you have to use Wand early to then summon this, and then overlay into King of the Fair Limps. But you play so hard into Nib because if you, so you have King of the Fair Limps and like a Galatea, right? Find the Galatea and put it right here. And so if they nib you right there, you literally just pass on like almost nothing. So it's kind of like Dice Masher, where it's like you have to the card's bad, so just ban it, and then people actually have to play better. So you basically you play better if you're not trying to make King of the Fair Limps. And then also I added 3 more Mitsu starters. So if you see this guy, this card, or this card, you're getting to your Mitsu half of the deck. And then in addition, you have the 7 Orcust starters. So I'm at 16 starters in 40, which is pretty good, because I basically just don't want to brick. Because anytime you play the game with this deck, you're winning, because your engines are so strong, you can do so much. So you have all these starters, and then your Mitsurugi still bridges into your Orcust a lot of the time, because you have Zombie Vampire to get you there. So it's like you just have all these cards that just get you everywhere, and it's like you don't always need King of the Fairlamps, because it was a really fragile line. And yeah, I'm almost glad I got banned, because you actually have to like play better now. So that's really cool. I'm gonna upload a video at some point, hopefully, if I'm not too busy, about just like kind of some different combos, like theory ideas you can do with like different techs and whatever. But this is the list that I think is the best for this format. Just playing as few bricks as possible while making the Mitsurugi engine still like functional, because I feel like at some point, if you're cutting so many cards from the Mitsurugi engine, you're like, why am I even playing Mitsurugi in the first place, right? But I think this is a nice medium, because you're still playing enough cards to get to the bridge, you're still playing Murakumo, you're still siding the trap, but then you don't really need Futsu to win games, right? Murakumo is the guy that puts up all the pressure. So you have these, and only these 4 cards you don't want to draw, versus like Kusanagi, Aramasa, the second Ritual sometimes you don't want to see, Futsu, even some people mainly the Great Purification. I think it only makes sense to do when you know you're going first, because it doesn't do anything when you're going second. Things like that, versus playing all these more bricks that only get you a slight higher ceiling. So just playing these feels a lot better. And I think that's going to be it for the deck profile. Have a good day. And yeah, it's Orcust best deck still, even after ban list, new format. Deck's still great. And I think that's it.